Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Voidaclizm channel. And I'm back again with Stanley Parable, but I usually wait to get into the game before I actually start recording. But when I opened the game, this is what I had found: is please adjust the slider until dog and the cat are friends. And I thought, what the heck is this? I better record it. So we're gonna make them friends and hit confirm. To number 5 becomes to number 9. That's smiley face. That's favor. That's a hand. That's a flag. That's a 9. Okay, that's not okay. Test whatever that is. Plane, laptop, bell. Here we go. Phone, B, bike, 9, 9. Interesting. All right, we're gonna move on. Please adjust the slider till you stop adjusting the slider. I'm feeling about right there. Which of the two made-up words is more appealing to you? Scrumtush or Occuboinkle? Okay, it's Occuboinkle is definitely it. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. Yes. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? I hope so. Otherwise, I am living in some paradox. What time is it? Or what is time anyway? Yes. Probably. You didn't ask a lot of questions. Help. Okay. Of course I am. Okay, well, I guess that's that. Welcome back to the Stanley Parable 2. My goal today is to take Jim the Bucket, and we are going to do some good old endings with Jim the Bucket, and
This is the
see where it takes us, I guess. So
all
we're
of his
gonna we're gonna figure
co-workers
this
were
out.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
Aha,
meeting room. Perhaps he
Jim,
had simply missed a memo.
I missed you, Jim. It's been
Warmth
so long.
spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Yes, Jim is my home.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
All right. Well, I don't know if we've ever really just followed the narrator, so we're gonna maybe just follow him exactly and see where it takes us with the bucket.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
I don't remember. Did we call it the broom closet with the bucket? Oh, that could be a thing later.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
All right. Here we go.
Stepping
bucket
into his
time.
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed
Jim,
by the
what
weight
did you
of
do
this
with my boss?
revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Oh, good.
Even now,
I'm so happy
in
that
his
Jim is here
darkest
for
of
me.
hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's
Aha,
desk.
this keypad.
Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
Oh, Jim? Jim, is it 2845? Oh my gosh,
But
Jim.
Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
No, it wasn't.
Was
It
the
wasn't
bucket
luck.
knew
It
all
was
along?
Jim.
Was the bucket,
bucket told
guiding
me.
him? Yes. This is
The bucket
certainly
filled
the most
up, and it
logical
said
explanation.
2845, and I said okay. Ha. Down. Let us go, Jim, into the depths of this building.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Sparks. Jim, you
Stanley
must
and the
protect me.
bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Alright.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
What
screens.
the?
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Wait, what? Jim, do I jump? I don't think Jim wants me to jump. We've already gone through deaths and rebirths with Jim. We're not going through more.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in
that's
the
me.
office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very
Oh no,
nearly
Jim,
burst
I'm so
into
sorry.
tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Jim, it's okay. I don't know if there's a camera watching you, Jim. At least I don't see one.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
I don't know.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world.
Yes.
At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Jim the bucket is very trustworthy, unless he's a beast inside.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy
High
comment
five.
about
Jim, I didn't
taking
realize you had
down the
hands.
system.
Jim, you and me were going on an adventure together. This is such a turn from the last few endings we've gotten. We must turn it off.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
I hope so.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze
Jim,
in every
I will
country
try
on
to help
Earth.
you roller skate.
Both of them
I
wanted to
can't even
begin
roller
watching
skate.
a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end.
What?
True, it was a
Oh
simple
my, that
life
sounds
they
like a terrible way to
envisioned,
watch a
but it was
movie.
one
Uh-oh.
they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
What? Huh?
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An
Jim.
unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No.
Even the facility itself
Jim.
recognized
Jim, I
the
would throw you out.
incredible
Jim.
calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket.
Jim.
Would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket.
Yes.
To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Jim? Jim, we didn't make it out.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh,
What could it mean?
Jim, we didn't make
Stanley
it.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply... Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled.
Of course I did.
He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
Okay.
and entered the door on his left.
I'm going to absolutely deny this guy of everything that he's ever done.
This was not the correct way
So we
to
are
the
going to go
meeting
this
room,
way.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to
Actually,
go back to the meeting room.
yeah, let's do that.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
But instead, we went down. Where are we going, Jim? Where is this taking us?
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
We care about you, Stanley. What is this?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we
Who
care
is
about you
this?
very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere.
Huh?
The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content.
He's Jim. Jim
We're
is the
ones
best.
that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans
All right.
want. Let's do it.
Come on, Jim. Let's go see where this line goes.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
What kind of silly music is
Now
this?
this is what the Stanley
Okay,
Parable
it's
is all
over.
about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
I will never give Jim up. You can't make me. Jim is my new best friend. He'll take me through this game.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's
No.
why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Whoa.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't
Does
need
it
me to
destroy
spell it out
Jim?
for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I can't. I can't get rid of Jim.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
Jim the Bucket, I will
Okay,
never
the
destroy
Bucket
him.
Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have
No,
to
I will
hurry
not
and
give it
feed
up.
We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give
No,
the fans
I
what
can't,
they want.
Jim.
Hurry and
It's Jim. Aha. I never gave up Jim. What is going on?
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
That it was. But I still have Jim, and that's all that matters. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
means-
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That it's time for me and Jim
The good old bucket.
to
Just
go to new
Stanley
places.
and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, let's enter the door on my left. I don't know, Jim, where do you feel like going? I feel like Jim wants
Still
to
no one
go
was here. Stanley
way.
needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office.
Ah, Jim, you
was
wanna go
coming
down
to
the stairs?
staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
very, very... Oh! A collectible?
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
That's okay.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Oh, I will. Matter of fact, I can hold them all in Jim. That is, if Jim wants to hold them all.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
No,
And that's
Jim.
when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket.
What?
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good
What?
would come
Jim!
from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket.
No, Jim.
Indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Whoa, what?
Gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the
Jim.
distance now, he heard
Jim, where are you?
calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed
Jim?
forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after
Jim?
the next. None of them were
Where's
his.
Jim?
None of them were his
Are you Jim?
special bucket.
Are you Jim?
Come to me, Stanley.
Are you Jim?
Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him
What?
all along. It was incredibly painful.
Uh-oh.
Stanley
Jim,
doubled
did you
over
eat
in
me?
agony and blacked out.
What? Jim? I trusted you, Jim.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What? Of a woman named Mariella? Who is this?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Okay.
She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
What?
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This
I
man
lost Jim.
had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to
How could I
herself,
have lost
my
Jim?
life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to
What?
work.
She. How did she backflip all the way to work? Oh, well, I gotta find Jim.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided
Aha,
to go to the
Jim,
meeting
I
room.
knew you'd
Perhaps
return.
he had simply...
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Exactly.
Stanley
I'm
clutched
glad
the
they're
bucket
catching
tightly
on.
to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
No.
Never mind.
Jim, we gotta go
The
places.
bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
What the heck? Alright. Jim, this is very scary. We can't fall.
Another miniature Stanley figurine.
Aha!
This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What
No,
about
I don't think so.
mini stands? Stanley
Mini
figs.
stands?
What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Alright, cool. Well, I guess I gotta go into that vent over there. Okay, where am I going? What? Where is this? What is this? Jim, what is this place? What the?
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes.
Jim?
The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
What? No, you can't monetize Jim.
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get...
Jim?
What's that? Who's there?
Camarada? What the heck does that mean? Did you get eaten by the bucket? Jim, are you evil again? Jim? Okay, here we are again.
All of
Okay.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided...
Alright, well I guess we're gonna end it here. Having some, technical shenanigans going on, but that's okay. Jim and I, we are going to be going to all the places together. And maybe he'll show up again someday. But for right now, we're going to be done with the Stanley Parable. And I plan on playing maybe some spooky games next. What that might be, I don't really know. But I'm going to try it. And we're going to see how it goes. So be sure to like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. And I'll see you later.